Hey y'all, and welcome to Reflecting Divinity. My name's Jamie, and I'm an intuitive reader. And today I have a pick a card reading with 3 piles. And for pile 1, I have Picasso Jasper. For pile 2, I have Blue Andean Opal. And for pile 3, I have Garnerite. The main message is about change and transformation, what is shifting in your life. And if you haven't seen my videos before, I tend to go into meditation for each pile first before pulling any cards. And I just write down what comes through. And so I'll give that at the very beginning of each pile's reading and then move into the cards that I pulled. You can go ahead and pause the video and use your intuition, the feelings that come up for you regarding these piles to see which one you're drawn to. And I will say just take what resonates from the readings and let go of anything that doesn't seem to fit. And I think that's it. I will see you in your chosen pile. Hi, pile 1. Welcome to your reading. Like I said, the kind of general theme for these readings is change and transformation, what's shifting in your life. And I did feel for each pile that working with the element of fire and what it represents, passion, desire, will, action. Fire is like a driving force. The emotions like anger, there's a sense of like harnessing the power of fire to move forward. So specifically for your pile, I felt that with this change and transformation, what's coming into your life is more abundance. And in particular, it feels like abundance of options. And that there's light being shed upon new paths for you. It felt a little bit like maybe revelations, expansion. I'm no astrologer, but when I've heard astrologers talk about Jupiter energy, that's kind of what I was feeling. I also got the impression that if you have, hopes and dreams that you want to see come to fruition, or that you want to succeed in something in particular that you're just like really hoping and dreaming for, the next 3 months is a good time to hone into and focus on your dreams, or you will discover what you want, like what your hopes are, what you truly desire. So there is this sense of shifting your perspective, almost like you have new eyes, like you have kind of a new vision, a new perspective. So I'm just going to set your crystal aside here, and we'll start with the tarot cards. And so I am just looking for like more information about what's changing, why, what you can expect. Let's go ahead and look at your cards. And so I just have the 3 tarot, and then I have a few oracle cards that we'll get into. Okay, so you have the 2 of Swords, the Tower, and the King of Swords. So the interesting thing is you have 2 of the air element with the swords here. And these aren't in any particular order, but it's just kind of like the factors that we're looking at. So the 2 of Swords, it is making me think of the options, kind of like a weighing of options, being unsure of what to do next, what decision to make. There's something here about like pausing and taking a moment to breathe. And I do like this representation of the 2 of Swords because it shows this person taking a moment to meditate, and you can see the little fairies in each hand, like there's a weighing of options. It feels like kind of sitting and seeing what feels right to you. But I am definitely getting this sense of there needs to be a pause. And especially with there being two air elements, there is this... Hey y'all, and welcome to Reflecting Divinity. My name's Jamie, and I'm an intuitive reader. And today I have a pick a card, and that there is this sense of like perspective shift. And I'm seeing here the King of Swords. The King of Swords always comes across to me as very sure of himself, very kind of unwavering and in his mindset, in his worldview. But I feel like in particular, the sense I'm getting is that this is kind of less about how you see the world and maybe more about how you see yourself, and maybe a shifting in your mindset. The interesting thing is here with the Tower is it feels like this shift in your mindset, or this realization that you need to get to the truth of who you are, what you really want, where you're going, where you want to kind of set your mind to, is that the Tower moment might actually trigger this realization. So it could be maybe for some of you more unpleasant, and it might be an external trigger. This card in particular, yeah, it looks like this person's gotten a phone call. And so it's like that unexpected thing that comes in. Maybe it's a situation, a person, an event, something happens, and you feel like a sense of a crumbling. Something shifting here. But I feel like it's an opportunity for you to get more in touch with your true self. And that starts internally, and particularly in how you think about yourself, and then how you interact with the world. Because what I feel like is there's a big shift from maybe not knowing who you are and where you're going to being in like your full power and sense of who you are. And then actually that, there's always this sense of leadership, right, with the King and Queen cards, but in particular in this image, there's like this sense of leadership in work, in working with other people, and with like knowing that you are competent and that you are kind of like an exceptional leader in whatever area it is that maybe you're questioning right now. Because I feel like there's some sense of like there's skills and knowledge here that you are interested in, or that you have, and maybe you're working on developing them, but you're a little unsure about them or where to take them, but you are going to get there. But I do feel like there's a shift in mindset for sure. So let's go ahead and look at the two oracle cards from the Shaman's Dream. Okay, so the first is Stranger, and then we have Falling Angel. Okay, so Stranger, curiosity. It's so interesting when I pull cards for other people. I never get like the same cards for myself, so it's always like kind of a new experience. So Stranger, curiosity. This feels to me a little bit like the Tower card, and not in a bad way or scary way, but Stranger in this image, there's a meeting between people. I don't know if you can really see the reflection in the water, but there's another face looking back. But the feeling I'm getting is that when kind of new things happen, it can be a gut reaction to have fear around something that's new, being in new kind of situations, or being around new people that you don't know, like a stranger. We can often get fearful, but what I'm seeing is that it's actually an opportunity to get curious and to maybe shift that mindset about like what you can do in relation to other people, or who you are in relation to other people. Like there's some new type of element. Maybe someone else is going to come in and help you see yourself in another way. And this isn't necessarily like, I feel like the Tower can feel negative, but in this sense, it almost feels like it's a good thing. Like there's a shifting, but it's definitely a good thing. So I'm also feeling that there might be this sense of maybe not recognizing yourself in your own reflection, and that this is a realization that maybe you aren't where you want to be, or like you're not in some way being your true self, that you're not following your truth and your path. And there's a realization that you have to kind of break off from how you've been going and get back to what you really want and who you really are. With falling angel, spiritual narcolepsy. Yeah, I'm feeling that, there's a few things. Like, so with falling angel, there is the sense of losing faith, losing trust. There's like that sense of falling from grace and kind of a collapsing, right? I'm relating it also to the Tower. But I do feel like maybe this is where you have been, but you are actually headed toward the curiosity again. Like maybe you've been kind of asleep, right? With narcolepsy, you've detached in some way. You've been following someone else or some others, like society's idea of who you should be or what you should be doing. But this is, it's just gotten to the point where you can't take it anymore almost. It's like, this is it, I'm done. I can't be who I'm not. And so you are, in a sense, kind of awakening to your true potential and what you really want. And I'm rambling, but there is a wake-up call. Like there is definitely a wake-up call. And I feel like it's maybe brought in potentially by someone else coming into your life and helping you realize something about yourself. Or you just kind of get to that point of you don't want to be kind of asleep to yourself in a way, like your own kind of spiritual, energetic, true self, your higher self. And so you're realizing, wait a minute, I'm a stranger to myself, but I no longer want to be a stranger to myself. How can I get to this point? So let's see what other cards I have for you. And I actually have, I think three fell out from this deck for you. This is the Angels and Ancestors card deck. So you were a little special. You got 3. So we have Magic Guardian, unlock the magic within. Oracle, wait for important information. And Trader, exchange energy to create abundance. Yeah, so with Magic Guardian, unlock the magic within. I feel like that's what you're doing. That's what you're kind of coming to realize, is that you do hold this power within yourself that for whatever reason you have not tapped into, or you haven't been allowing yourself to tap into, but now is the time for this transformation to happen. So with trader, exchange energy to create abundance. Yeah, there's a sense of there's another person here. Maybe that's for some of you that in particular there's another person. And so there's this exchange of energy. They come in and they open you up to a new perspective for yourself. And in particular, yeah, so there's this room being made for abundance. For sure, coming in for you, pile 1. With Oracle, wait for important information. In a sense, I feel like you have waited for others to tell you how to move forward, but I am seeing that you need to get back into communication with your higher self, maybe go into meditation, just sit with yourself, have the intention to connect with that true part of you that knows why you're here and what you want to do, how you are meant to kind of move through life. And there's no you should do this or should do that. In truth, we are here with full free will to kind of live the way we want to. But the idea of tapping into your higher self and communicating with this aspect of you that exists on the other side, so to speak, is that you can be more in full alignment and have a more expanded understanding or view of your life and all the elements of your life, the people you work with, that you live with, the situations you've been in. I'm getting, in particular, education, lessons that you've learned along the way. This can broaden your horizon. It expands where maybe you thought before there wasn't potential or opportunity. You get to that viewpoint of, hey, there's actually more here than I thought. And this is because you're finally getting into alignment with your magical self. And that will always create more abundance. The more aligned you are with your truth and you step into your own power, you create more opportunities, right, for things that you want to manifest in your life. And so I have 2 more cards, the last 2. We have Butterfly and we have Come to Calm, Sodalite. Yeah, so Butterfly is very on the nose as far as change and transformation and the shifting. It's often a symbol for transformation because butterflies, they start out as caterpillars and then essentially become goo. They completely transform they break down and then are reborn, transform into the butterfly. So this is definitely indicative of where you are, and that there is this almost down to the bone transformation for you, pile 1. But I do feel like it's focused mostly on your mindset, your perspective, how you think about yourself, your life, others, relationships with others, your potential, your dreams. And with Come to Calm and Sodalite, this Come to Calm definitely makes me think of meditation, getting into a calmer state, a quieter mind, so that you can more easily tap into your intuition, to the voice of your intuition, to receive messages. Again, wait for important information that could be indicative that your guides are wanting to speak with you. So many times we can kind of brush off our intuitive nudges. We can just so easily brush them off. For whatever reason, we're busy, we're going throughout our day, we have a feeling or sense of something, but we can kind of just the way we're trained go, oh, I'm just thinking that up, I'm imagining it, that's not real, I'm just, whatever it is, you just brush it off. But when you get into meditation, it can be easier to notice what comes through when you are able to quiet your mind. So I would say that if you have thought about meditating but have not kind of taken that plunge, to go ahead and give it a try. It doesn't have to be perfect. And it's okay to think thoughts when you meditate, like they're gonna come up. It's just about noticing them and kind of letting them go. And anytime you notice you're kind of wandering, just to come back to focus on your breathing, to focus on your body. Sometimes saying a mantra can help, or saying affirmations can help kind of get you into a rhythm and in the flow. For you, Pile 1, yeah, the change and transformation that's happening is within your mind. It's a mindset shift so that you can step into your full power, into your own authority and your sense of self, to hold that energy and bring in more abundance in every way. But you will see that there are so many more opportunities than you think is even possible. And you will be this almost new person, but your true sense of self, like your original self, before you became this human on this planet. But yeah, you are well on your way, and it is all positive shifts for you, Pile 1. So just remember that you are in control and you ultimately are your own authority. So don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Listen to those intuitive nudges and those feelings, and the more you listen, the stronger they will be. The clearer the messages will come. And know that you can trust yourself. You are the King of Swords. You are your own magic. So I hope this helps you, Pile 1. If you like this reading, please give it a like and consider subscribing for more readings from me. Thanks. Bye. Hello, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading. So I just want to start off with, for this reading about change and transformation, what's shifting in your life, I did feel that working with the fire element and what it represents, passion, desire, will, action, anger, even, all these emotions can be a driving force and can help you to harness your power to move forward. So I just want to offer that. But specifically for your pile, the message that came through focused on the earth element and the sense of like being in the soil as a starting point. So it feels like you've been in the soil, so to speak, but you're no longer a seed anymore. You are the sprouting plant. So there's this movement of coming, to the surface to meet the sun. And that's where that kind of fire element, I feel like, comes in for you. There is revitalizing for you after a period of rest and germination. So there's this more of an expansion energy specifically coming in, and the sense of branching out into who you really are, and that you're going to have a new way of seeing yourself, your identity maybe, what you value, what you find exciting and invigorating. And there's this sense of like a sense of freedom and joy coming in for you, I felt like, in particular, Pile 2. So I did go ahead and pull cards to ask more about this change and transformation, what's shifting. And so we'll start with the tarot cards first. Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting. So you have the Ace of Swords and you have the Ace of Chalices. And then you have the Four of Wands. Wow. So it's a really interesting shift here. So you've got some like almost new beginning, some fresh start energy. The Ace of Swords, you have maybe a new idea coming in. You have some type of truth coming to light here. There's an opportunity for you with a totally fresh start, and this fresh start is gonna be good for your mindset as well as your emotional well-being. This is just like lots of love and joy and freedom. Absolutely. Some of the things I was feeling before. with the Four of Wands, this is kind of a celebration card. This is interesting because it's Halloween or Samhain themed. So maybe that is significant to some of you. For me, Samhain is kind of a season, a season of change, of transformation. And so maybe that resonates with some of you as well. But pile 2, you could be, maybe you're moving, maybe you're getting a new foundation, or you're getting together with people or in a community or in a new space that is better for you, that is really where you will excel and you will grow. So kind of going back to that seed and the germination, you're coming out into the sun, and this will help you to grow even more. And I feel like you're getting to a space, either location-wise or maybe just a different community of people, that's going to help your growth and bring you some positive new beginnings as far as like fresh ideas and just a new sense of like passion and love. And yeah, so I want to get more into your other cards to see what else we have here. So I have a couple cards from the Shaman's Dream Oracle. Okay, interesting. You have Hollow Bone, Teachability, and you have Whale Song resonating. Yeah, so with the Four of Wands, the sense I was getting is that you're in a space and a community it makes more sense with you. It feels more natural. It resonates. It fits your energy better. And so you can see yourself in this new space with these new people, and you feel like you belong. And I get that sense with the Whale Song resonating card. There's something like soul shifting here, particularly with the kind of water element here with Whale Song and the Ace of Cups. With Hollow Bone, Teachability, I do feel like you have been in a period of maybe study or like going through some lessons that you have a teachability and you're kind of coming into the end of that cycle, right? And you're starting new. And I almost feel like maybe you can be the teacher now. That the lessons you've learned, you can now kind of share how you got through certain challenges, and you can share these with others. And there is a sense of maybe building that community through teaching, through that connection with others. And I feel like you're able to do this because your energy, I don't know, that Whale Song resonating, your energy is so, it's powerful, but it's also it's soothing, it's nourishing. You have this within you and you can use it now. It's like maybe you had to come to terms with your own emotions and who you are, right? But now it's like, okay, you can now shift that focus maybe a little more outward and find others who are like you. Let's get into your angels and ancestors. Yeah. Yeah, so with White Witch, be the light. Yeah, you're meant to shine your light. Don't discount your life experience or your education. I get this sense of like Spirit wants me to tell you not to discount how far you've come, what you've been through, and think, oh, I don't know enough, or I'm not good enough for this or that. You are. And guardian angel, I don't think I've ever seen this card. I've had this deck for a while. I love when I pull cards for other people because I suddenly see cards that never fall out for me, or I had never pulled for myself. Guardian angel, you are not alone. Spirit's saying, like, you're not alone. You don't have to be alone, and you are going to come into this community. Like, be open to it. But also, Spirit is here with you on the other side. Your angels, your guides are always with you, and they are reminding you that you are ready for this shift, for these new ideas, whatever they are. Maybe you are thinking about teaching, but maybe you're just thinking about stepping into another role where you're going to be more of a leader in some way, maybe in your career or in your studies. But there's definitely that message of not discounting your perspective, really. And that there are people who will benefit from you sharing your light with others. They need to hear what you have to say. You are so supported by Spirit, but you also have this ability to manifest what it is you desire, and you have a sense of intuition and who you really are. Like, I feel like you have this already. I do feel like you're in touch with this. If you aren't, you are going to be very soon, particularly with the two aces. That could be part of your shift. But yeah, I do feel that you are able to accomplish so much, but maybe you don't give yourself enough credit for what you have done and what you are going to do. And I do feel like it's big and it's important. And it's not to scare you, definitely not to scare you when I say it's important, but you're meant to be here. And I feel like you do have a sense of your purpose. So Spirit's just saying not to doubt. And you probably receive messages in kind of symbols and synchronicities that come into your life repeatedly, maybe angel numbers, or you see feathers, things like that. I do feel like you're very in touch. So your last two cards are Horse and Fill Yourself, Morganite. So with Horse, the horse is connected to the element of earth, and horse for me is power, it's freedom, it's wisdom. So I feel like you really embody these qualities, pile 2. You have this power, this kind of majestic, beautiful, just innate power about you. And the thing is with horses, although they can be wild and, they have this kind of freedom and free spirit energy, they are also so capable of gentle interactions, and they can be tamed and put up with a lot from humans, right? And I feel like that's you. Like, you have the wisdom to step back and connect with people when they aren't coming from the same perspective as you. Maybe not as, I'm not going to say, well, it's like a higher perspective, yeah, but sometimes people, they're just like vibing on a lower level, and it's not necessarily bad. It's not, I'm not trying to shame anybody out there. Times are tough, but I feel like you just embody the ability to connect at a heart level, and there's a sense of like you don't judge others. You have this quality with you or within you. And the other message here coming through with Fill Yourself, with Morganite, is make sure that you are giving to yourself, especially like with the Ace of Cups, you're giving yourself what you give to other people. So make sure you are filling your own cup first and then sharing with others. because that will be very draining for you. And I do feel like you have that quality of like you want to help other people. You want to be there for other people. You want to be the light, but of course, like, you have that power, but don't forget that you need that rest too. You need that self-care too. Going back to the whale, like, what's standing out to me is the water bubble the whale's within, but I'm just kind of seeing that as an energetic protective boundary that you can use for yourself. And maybe you do this, that you can fill yourself with light and kind of see that as like a protective bubble as you move through the world, where other people's energy and low vibes aren't going to get to your energy. Like, kind of like energy vampire. Maybe you might be prone to energy vampires just because your light shines so bright. So I am getting that message of make sure that you are getting what you need first, and to still have boundaries, because you are being called to work with other people and to be a teacher in some way, to shine your light, maybe to be a healer, to put your ideas out there. So pile 2, just know that you are on the right track, and that any shifts and transformation happening right now, it feels very much aligned. And I feel like you're very much aware of who you are and where you're going. And Spirit just wants to remind you to take care of yourself, surround you with people who love you and care for you and who are kind of resonating on that same level, because otherwise it can be draining. That's not to say that you can't help others who aren't the same as you, but you just have to kind of make sure you're coming from that strong foundation, that strong energetic foundation, and with good boundaries. So I hope that helped pile 2. If you liked the video, please give it a like. And if you want to see more readings from me, then hit that subscribe button. And until next time, thank you, and bye, pile 2. Hi, pile 3. Welcome to your reading. So for this reading, of course, I said it's about change and transformation, what's shifting in your life. I just want to say that something that came through for all the piles is that working with the fire element can be helpful, and what the fire element can represent, in particular, passion, desire, will, action, anger even. These can all be driving forces that can help you to harness your power to move forward. So I just want to offer that. For your pile specifically, I got the sense that you felt swept up by a river, and that there's a struggle to fight the currents or the waves of your emotion. So it's more like an emotional river, obviously. But there's this sense of emotionally kind of getting swept away and feeling like you've been knocked off balance, but you make it to shore. There's warm sand, there's stability, there's the ability to dry off, to warm up and reorient to the sun. So it does feel like there's this drying up of the emotion that was overwhelming. I do feel like for you, it might be helpful to work with crystalline flames. If you're unfamiliar with that, I would recommend that you kind of look into it to see if it's interesting to you. But crystalline flames are kind of these spiritual understanding and using flames with different qualities to help transmute. So to transmute maybe old stuff or old patterns of behavior that you like no longer need in your life, or old emotions, stuck emotions that aren't helping you anymore. Anything that you're ready to be free of, anything that's holding you back, blocks, things like that, can be offered to these crystalline spiritual flames for transmutation. So transmutation is, there's this idea that it will be completely transformed into something new, into something nourishing and helpful even. You could maybe do this if you actually practice with ritual, something like that. You could work with fire safely. You could work basically with the idea of completely transforming something negative into a more positive element. And the way this came through was how fire, like if forest fire comes through, it often leads to new plant growth. So this can be a healing thing. So maybe we associate fire with more destruction, but it can be a healing and growth-giving element. I do want to get into your cards to get more information about this change and transformation, the shifts happening in your life. And I want to start with the tarot. I have 3. Oh, wow. Okay, so pile 3. We have the Magician. We have the 3 of Swords. And we have the 9 of Pentacles. Oh my goodness. So yeah, your transformation is definitely, it's interesting because with the 3 of Swords, there's a sense of anxiety and just maybe frustration. I feel like it could be related to the overwhelming emotions, but this in particular is more something like a mental frustration, stress. In this iteration of the 3 of Swords, she looks completely exhausted and almost at like the end of her rope, so to speak. I feel like where you're shifting is from a place of a loss of power and moving from frustration and anxiety and overwhelm to one where you are back in touch with your potential and your own magic and your ability to manifest and to work with the elements. So it is interesting because I was talking about working with crystalline elements and also the element of fire, but there was also kind of water coming through in your imagery. So maybe what needs to happen is like within your energy, there is a need for balancing, because something here, especially in the mind, is just taking over. So there could be kind of an emotional aspect to this, but it's really affecting your mindset. And so with the Magician coming in, I do feel like there's a shift here to rebalance, to remember that you are in control of your destiny and that the things coming up are offerings for you to move through certain challenging lessons, things like that, but they aren't meant to define you or hold you back. You can work with ritual if you're open to that, but I would suggest things that would help you with the struggles you're going through. And maybe that's, therapy. Maybe that's taking more time for self-care. Maybe it's changing your job. Maybe it's doing more meditation or yoga or, whatever makes sense for you, pile 3, because it's going to be different for everybody. But there's kind of this sense of like getting back to who you are. And I feel like this has been a theme actually for every pile. There's a sense of like getting to your true self and your own power and how to move forward with that. Because with the 9 of Pentacles here, you have this ability to manifest in your physical reality, in the real world. And there's, with the Nine of Pentacles, a sense of great abundance and freedom and independence, a perspective of, wow, look at everything I have accomplished and look at where I'm setting my sights on next. And so I feel like you're coming out of maybe the Three of Swords, or maybe you're still in it, but there is this opportunity for expansion in your energy and an opportunity to rebalance and re-harness your own power, really, because you have this within you. So I want to get into your other cards to see if we can get more information about this. So we're going to start with the Shaman's Dream Oracle. And I have 2 cards that came out. Oh my goodness. Okay. So Vanishing Mirror, Ego Sublimation. Okay, so maybe the Three of Swords, it's a moment of dark night of the soul. Something maybe has happened where you're feeling this low in your life. Maybe there's a low spot, there's a questioning of everything. What is the purpose of it all? I do feel like there's a sense of the ego mind, or maybe inner critic, things like that. The more critical, conscious mind has kind of taken control and is knocking you off balance, overwhelming you. And there could be some shadow work here, because with Will-o'-the-wisp, treasures hidden in the shadows, there could be a call to do more inner work. And the inner work is tough. It is tough, I will admit that. And you don't have to go at it alone. It is important. Obviously, if you are suffering, if you are struggling, please seek help. And there are people who can help you move through challenges and process things that maybe are in the shadow for you. This could be, past relationships, past events, things like that, because they are in the shadows. So there's this sense of them kind of lurking and lingering and still affecting you, and kind of never necessarily going away. And it's just gotten to that point where it's built up and up. And I feel like you know where you want to go, and you have a sense of your own power, but there's this kind of taming of all this kind of chaos created by the ego, by the critical mind, that needs to be tamed. And the way to get over something is to kind of move through it. So you are being called to move through it, but you are so capable of doing this. And so I want to get more into your other cards. So I have 2 cards from the Angels and Ancestors Oracle deck. Yeah. Okay, so you have Snake. Interesting, you got 2 animals here. So you've got Snake, Shed Old Skin. And you have Eagle, See from a Higher Perspective. Pile 3. Yeah, there's old stuff here. Old patterns. Things that just aren't serving you. You can look into working with Saint Germain if you're open to this. You can go into meditation and set the intention to work with Saint Germain and the Violet Flame. I recommend you look into that. Ascended Master, if you don't know anything about it, but there are also other ways to work with crystalline flames, things like that. You can use spiritual techniques in addition to therapy, things like that. If you're open to any and all of it, that's great. You can do this work, and you can do it at your own pace. You don't have to rush this, but there is this need to release and shed what no longer serves you, what doesn't fit you anymore, what is hindering you more than helping you. And with Eagle, See from a Higher Perspective, there is this call to get that, like what my therapist calls it, the 30,000 foot view. to try to see from a more objective point of view. Because what I'm feeling is like the conscious mind, the inner critic, whatever it is, the shadow side might be coming out and saying, this is how it is, this is how it's always going to be. There's no other way to see this. But that's not true. The ego mind, the inner critic can have a very limited point of view, and it's coming from fear. And it is trying to help you in a way, but it's actually harming you more than helping you. But you have the ability, because you are this magical person and you are in touch with your intuition. If you can meditate and or just, get quiet, maybe go on a walk, tap into who you truly are. And if you're watching any of my videos, you'll probably know that I'm coming from a spiritual perspective. I believe that there is a part of us, really the main of us, exists on the other side, and as our higher self, and really we're just a part of us here. So if we could tap into that higher self, we can see suddenly from a greater expanded perspective. And I forget if this message came through for pile 1 or pile 2, but there is this need for a higher perspective, pile 3. And your last 2 cards, we have Unicorn, and we have I love when this happens. We have Transmutation, Black Tourmaline. Oh my gosh. So you can actually work with crystals to kind of tap into their energy if you are called to do so. Black Tourmaline is known to help release and obviously transmute energies that are unwanted. You could even go into meditation just holding a black tourmaline, asking spirit to help you release what no longer serves you and to transmute whatever isn't serving you into something that will serve you. So then you can maybe imagine or sense or feel that you are then filling with light, filling in all the spaces that are in shadow to help release and break up in the energy what's stagnant and needs to move out. This takes time, but you are totally capable of this, pile 3. I believe in you because you have Unicorn here. So you have a spirit animal here with a unicorn, which in this deck by Kim Kranz, she relates it to the third eye. You have the ability to see into that spiritual realm, to that energetic realm. And I feel like what I'm getting here is you can hone in on and set your vision on, okay, what is it that's blocking me? It's a way of taking your power back. You can use your intuition to peer into those shadows. As soon as you set that intention to kind of shed light on and into the darkness, it is not as strong as the light, right? It is completely illuminated, and I feel like this practice of going in there and pulling out what no longer serves you, and this could also kind of anything that doesn't serve you in your physical life, also consider that, right? Get rid of things that are holding you back. But really this feels like internal work. It's old patterns. You maybe work on cord cutting as well. If you're interested in cord cutting meditations, there's a lot out there that can help you. And then get in touch with your third eye. Maybe do some third eye work. Practice with your third eye, because you're going to suddenly see, oh my gosh, I have so much power. I have the ability to manifest what I want. And this will set you free. You will feel that sense of freedom and a new stability come into your life. But it is about kind of working through the shadow, transmuting old energies, and realigning with that higher perspective of yourself and getting your power back. I feel like that has been the message for all three piles. It's getting a sense of your own power and moving forward with passion into the next kind of cycle in your life. So pile 3, I wish you all the best. Things are looking up for you. Just focus on your healing. You are a priority. Just remember that. Have love and patience for yourself. Have compassion for yourself. You are worthy and deserving of great things. And if you liked this reading, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more from me, hit that subscribe button. But until next time, thank you for watching and bye.